Good evening, you're now with me, Handy Gui for TVS Nightline, and here are the headlines for tonight. Sarawak's Premier announced incentive rewards for gold, silver and bronze medalists at SUKMA 2024 to encourage top performance. The High Court has ordered MYAirline Sdn Bhd to pay 17.7 million ringgit to Malaysia airports for overdue charges. And on global affairs, Paetongtarn Shinawatra was elected Thailand's youngest and second female Prime Minister. Thai lawmakers on Friday elected 37-year-old Paetongtarn Shinawatra, daughter of billionaire THAKSIN'S Shinawatra, as Prime Minister, making her the youngest and second female leader in Thailand's history. The vote followed the dismissal of former Premier by the Constitutional Court. SETA's removal on Wednesday marks the latest chapter in a long-standing conflict between Thailand's military-backed pro-royalist establishment and the populist movements associated with Paetongtarn's father, a telecom tycoon and former Manchester City owner. On Thursday, the Pheu Thai Party named Paetongtarn as its new candidate with no alternative proposed by any of the 10 coalition parties it leads. Whom Jai Thai, the third largest party in parliament, announced its agreement to support a Pheu Thai candidate in Friday's vote. Before entering politics in late 2022, Paetongtarn was involved in managing the hotel branch of her family's business empire. She was a prominent figure during last year's general election campaign. That election saw the Move Forward Party MFP gain the most seats with promises to reform the country's strict lèse-majesté laws and dismantle powerful business monopolies. However, the Senate blocked MFP's bid to form a government. Pheu Thai then forged an alliance with pro-military parties that were once fierce opponents of Thaksin and his allies, leading to SETA's rise to power. Less than a year later, SETA became the third Pheu Thai Prime Minister to be ousted by the Constitutional Court. His removal was linked to the appointment of Pichit Chenban, a former lawyer for Thaksin's family with a criminal conviction. The court also recently voted to dissolve the MFP and banned its executive board members from politics for 10 years, though the party quickly rebranded itself as the People's Party. MYAirline Sdn Bhd has been ordered to pay 17.7 million ringgit to Malaysia Airports Sepang Sdn Bhd and Malaysia Airports Sdn Bhd in overdue airport service charges. High Court Judicial Commissioner J.C. Gan Thi Cheong directed the defendant to pay over 9 million ringgit to the first plaintiff, Malaysia Airports Sepang, and 8.6 million ringgit to Malaysia Airports.
The court also orders the defendant to pay cost of 10,000 ringgit each to each plaintiff. In his decision, J.C. Gan said the two plaintiffs are entitled to collect charges from airlines for services provided and then proceeded to award the sums. On November 9, 2023, both plaintiffs filed for summary judgment, submitting that the amount claimed from the defendant remains accrued and unpaid and that the airlines has no defense against the lawsuit. On November 24th this same year, MYAirline filed an application to strike out the suit, contending that the plaintiffs should first utilize the dispute resolution mechanism provided in Sections 74 to 78 of the Malaysian Aviation Commission Act 2015. They claim, therefore, that the plaintiffs' action was deemed invalid or premature, as they did not adhere to nor utilize the prescribed dispute resolution method. Both plaintiffs objected to the application, asserting that the dispute resolution mechanism under the Malaysian Aviation Commission Act is not applicable in this instance. J.C. Gan dismissed MYAirline's application to strike out the suit and ordered them to pay 30,000 ringgit each in costs to the plaintiffs. Malaysia Airports Sepang and Malaysia Airports filed the initial lawsuit on October 18, 2023, claiming that MYAirline had failed to pay 6 categories of service charges amounting to 17 million ringgit. They claim that the overdue charges owed by MYAirline included passenger service and passenger security charges, landing fees, parking fees, aerobridge fees, and so on. The plaintiffs also asserted that the airline did not contest to the contents of the invoices and account statements issued to it within 30 days. Consequently, the plaintiffs sought, among other damages, that the defendant pay the outstanding charges of 17 million ringgit, along with general damages and other relief deemed appropriate by the court. Malaysia Airports Sepang and Malaysia Airports Sdn Bhd were represented by Shannon Rajan, Eric Gomez and Kathleen Yeoh, while MYAirline was represented by lawyer Nasima Jalaluddin.
Sarawakian athletes who contributed gold medals at the ongoing Malaysia Games SUKMA and Para SUKMA 2024 will be given a handsome reward of 15,000 ringgit, while silver medalists will receive 5,000 ringgit and 3,000 ringgit for bronze medalists. Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, hopes that the incentives will serve as a motivation for the athletes to excel in the Games.
Untuk ini adalah untuk sotekan untuk kita memberikan sokongan dan dorongan supaya sokan ini adalah kria. Apabila mereka mendapat tahap yang lebih tinggi hinggalah ke peringkat antarabangsa, ia akan membawakan nama negeri Sarawak seperti Pandera, Boni dan yang lain.
He said this during a press conference after witnessing the final match of the Taekwondo event at the Kuching Unity Stadium on Friday. According to him, the incentive will be rewarded for each medal won by an individual athlete.
3 kali 5, 15. 3 kali 5, 45.
The Sarawak government takes strong action to resolve the statelessness issue in the region. Home Affairs Minister Dato' Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail said the state government and his ministry have set up a special task force to facilitate the application of people without identification documents to obtain citizenship.
Kombinasi ini, jawatan kuasa bersama ini, pertama, dia memudahkan kami untuk sampai ke kawasan-kawasan pedalaman berpandukan kepada data yang dikumpulkan oleh kerajaan negeri. Jadi melalui kerjasama ini, dia membantu kami untuk menyelesaikan keadaan di mana berlakunya ada lagi segmen dalam masyarakat atau rakyat negeri Sarawak ni yang belum memiliki.
He said this to reporters after paying a courtesy visit to the Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg on Friday. When asked about the number of approved identification document applications in Sarawak, he said a discussion will be held on Saturday and the actual figure will be announced the same day.
Ini akan disusuli besok mesyuarat yang lebih komprehensif lah, di mana kami akan meneliti satu persatu berapa jumlah permohonan, apa kes yang berlaku, permohonan ni nak kita masuk di bawah kategori berapa, semuanya itu akan kami bentangkan dan pada akhir mesyuarat besok akan ada satu sidang media yang untuk saya kongsikan dengan media berkenaan dengan progres.
The Sarawak government, through its Forestry department, is enhancing its expertise by forging strategic partnership with the University of the Sunshine Coast in Australia. A statement from the Office of Sarawak's Deputy Premier, Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan, emphasised the significance of this collaboration, which was formally initiated with the signing and exchange of a Letter of Intent, LOI. The ceremony marks the commencement of an in-depth discussions and the establishment of a mutual understanding between the two entities, laying the groundwork for future joint initiatives. The collaboration includes the exchange of technical information, joint research and studies, and sharing of knowledge and technology, encompassing data collection, discussion formulations and analysis, as well as the development or implementation of forestry-related matters. The exchange of the LOI was recently witnessed by Awang Tengah. The director of the Sarawak Forestry Department, Datu Hamdan Mohammed, signed the LOI on behalf of the Sarawak government, while Vice Chancellor and President, Professor Helen Bartlett, represented University of the Sunshine Coast. The ceremony also featured briefings related to research presentations from 4 lecturers and researchers from University of the Sunshine Coast and the Forestry Research Institute. Topics discussed included breeding and silviculture to enhance productivity and value of plantations, and the management of pest insects in Borneo forest plantations. Sarawak delegation, led by Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan, recently embarked on a working visit to HQ Plantations Beerburrum Forest Plantation in Queensland, Australia. In a statement released by the Deputy Premier's office, HQ Plantations was highlighted as a leading forestry company in Australia, renowned for its commitment to sustainable forestry management and its innovative management practices. During the visit, the Sarawak delegation was introduced to several key areas of interest, including engagement with local communities, especially the indigenous people known as the First Nations people of Australia. The delegation also learned about the laws governing indigenous rights, community outreach programs, educational initiatives, and efforts to promote sustainable forestry awareness among the general public. The statement further informed that the company's practices have become a benchmark in the industry, managing approximately 300,000 hectares of forest plantations across Queensland. Through sustainable forestry practices, HQ Plantations implements approaches such as responsible harvesting, reforestation, and conservation strategies aiming to maintain ecological balance while meeting commercial objectives. Another focus of the visit was the sharing of knowledge regarding biodiversity conservation initiatives, including habitat protection and species monitoring programs. The Sarawak contingent's performance at SUKMA 2024 has been commendable thus far. According to Sarawak Minister of Youth, Sports and Entrepreneur Development, Dato' Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah, the team is well on its way to securing at least 70 gold medals, a feat that would crown them the overall champion of the SUKMA Games.
So far so good. Kita baru saja ada sukan-sukan seperti wushu, lomba basikal, dan pinballing yang dipertandingkan yang telah masuk ke final yang menunjukkan ada pungutan emas sehingga 2 hari. Karena saya tahu baru 2 hari acara yang ada masuk ke final dan dalam masa 2 hari kita sudah mendapat tempat yang ketiga, ranking yang ketiga. Ada lagi sukan-sukan lain yang saya tahu kita akan dapat memberi lebih banyak emasnya. Of course, as I've been mentioning all the while, we want to be the overall champion. It's been a very long wait for us. The last time we were overall champion was 30 years ago, 1994, and this is the year, inshallah, that we will be the overall champion.
Sarawak's wushu sensation Stephanie Ngu Chai Ern showcased her exceptional talent at the 2024 Malaysia Games SUKMA, securing her 3rd gold medal on Friday at the Wushu SSC Hall. Stephanie delivered a commanding performance in the women's Changshu final, earning the top score of 9.606 as the second last competitor, further solidifying her status as a standout athlete. The 20-year-old athlete outshined Federal Territories' Lee Cheng Wei, who settled for silver with a score of 9.570, while bronze went to Penang's Tang Koh Ming, who scored 9.553 points. This victory makes Stephanie the athlete with the most gold medal wins so far in this edition of the Games. On Thursday, she secured gold in the Jiangsu event, having already won Sarawak's first gold in the Chiang Kent event on Wednesday. This SUKMA marks Stephanie's fourth appearance after winning 2 bronze medals in 2016 and 1 silver and 1 bronze in 2018 and 2022 respectively. Hello there and welcome back. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has announced a 15% salary bump for civil servants in the implementing, management and professional groups and a 7% increase for those in the top management group. The adjustment will be implemented in phases starting December 1st, 2024.
Perasan gaji sebanyak 15% kepada pegawai kumpulan pelaksana dan pegawai kumpulan pengurusan dan profesional dan pelarasan gaji sebanyak 7% kepada pegawai kumpulan pengurusan tertinggi. Pelaksanaan pemberian pelarasan gaji ini akan dilaksanakan cara bertahap, berfasa. Maknanya pada 1 Disember 2024 Fasa 1, 1 Januari 2026, Fasa 2. Dia banyak alasannya. Naik-naik. Tapi kita naik secara fasa kerana kekangan dan tidak mahu ada tekanan inflasi. Kalau naik, kemudian naik inflasi, pendapatan sebenar itu akan jauh kurang.
He said this at the 19th Civil Service Premier Assembly at Putrajaya on Friday. Additionally, he said, pension adjustment will also be implemented based on the final salary adjustments of retirees in December 2024. The Prime Minister said the salary adjustment made through the SSPA had also taken into account the 21.3% increase in the Consumer Price Index CPI over the past 10 years, especially as the price of food and drinks, which had also increased at a rate of 24.8%. At the same time, Anwar also warned all quarters not to take advantage in any form, such as raising the price of goods following the announcement of the salary adjustment for civil servants. The government has agreed to replace the Malaysian remuneration system SSM with the Public Service Remuneration System SSPA effective December 1st. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the performance-based remuneration system embodies the spirit of civil service reform.
Tahap pengorbanan ini luar biasa. Bukan sahaja dalam menghadapi komunis militan yang mengorbankan nyawa tentera dan polis dan home guard pada ketika itu, tetapi baru-baru ini dalam menangani wabak pandemik COVID-19. Jangan lupa bahawa frontliners itu adalah perkhidmatan awam, petugas barisan hadapan. Jadi negara sudah aman. Kita melepasi bencana COVID. Tapi jangan lupa, baik peniaga yang kaya, atau pengurus di bank, atau pimpinan politik, kerajaan atau pembangkang, jangan lupa bahawa mereka ini telah menyambung nyawa, berkorban jiwa raga demi menjalankan tugas mereka, memberi perkhidmatan kesihatan yang terbaik kepada seluruh rakyat dan negara. Kedua, meningkatkan kesediaan penjawat awam dalam melaksanakan perubahan. Dan ketiga, meningkatkan daya saing negara.
He stated this during the 19th Civil Service Premier Assembly in Putrajaya on Friday. Anwar also mentioned that the implementation of the SSPA is based on 3 core reforms, including increasing productivity and efficiency in the public service. Malaysia's economy saw a robust expansion of 5.9% in the second quarter of 2024, bolstered by resilient household spending, vigorous investment activities, and a significant boost in tourism arrivals. Bank Negara Malaysia BNM Governor Dato Sri Abdul Rashid Ghaffur said the growth is also the highest since fourth quarter of 2022, and he is confident that Malaysia's growth is on track to range between 4.0 to 5.0% forecast by the end of this year. The country's economy expanded by 4.2% in the first quarter of 2024, bringing the first half's growth to an average of 5.05%. Meanwhile, the gross domestic product GDP grew by 2.9% in second quarter of 2023. Additionally, growth in the second half of 2024 will be driven by domestic spending, with continued strong support from external demand. On the domestic front, the central bank noted household spending will be underpinned by continued employment, wage growth, and policy measures. BNM said investment activities will be driven by progress in multi-year projects across private and public sectors. Catalytic initiatives announced in national master plans and the higher realization of approved investments are also key drivers for investment activities. Externally, BNM opined that the ongoing global tech upcycle and continued strong demand for non-electrical and electronic goods will lift exports. Increase in tourist arrivals and spending are also expected to continue. BNM said upside risks to growth include greater spillover from the tech upcycle, robust tourism activities, and faster implementation of existing and new investment projects. In other developments, BNM said the ringgit is moving in the right direction and reflects the nation's economic fundamentals and strong prospects. Its governor, Dato Sri Abdul Rashid Ghaffur, said the recent spread in the ringgit's performance indicates a recovery from the previous levels, noting that the support for the ringgit, namely the United States-US monetary policy, coordinated measures between the government and BNM, and Malaysia's strong prospects has been positive. On the ringgit's recent performance, he said, it has been appreciating of late, with financial market participants expecting imminent policy rate cuts from the U.S. Federal Reserve, which has softened the U.S. dollars and alleviated pressure on regional currencies, including the ringgit. With these latest developments, the ringgit has appreciated by 3.1% against the U.S. dollar year-to-date as at August 31, 2024. On a nominal effective exchange rate basis, the ringgit has also appreciated by 5.3%. Meanwhile, on the OPR, he said the Monetary Policy Committee (MPC) believes the system remains conducive to sustainable economic growth. Globally, Abdul Rashid said the monetary policy path is shifting towards central bank easing, but noted that the financial markets remain susceptible to economic developments, including growth prospects and any divergence between market participants' expectations and the central bank's actions. Five individuals have been charged with supplying ketamine to Friends star Matthew Perry, allegedly exploiting his drug addiction for financial gain. The actor tragically passed away at his luxury Los Angeles home last year, a loss that prompted an outpouring of grief from fans worldwide.
Following Mr. Perry's death in October of last year, law enforcement, my office, and our partners represented on this stage began an in-depth, wide-ranging investigation. That investigation has revealed a broad, underground criminal network responsible for distributing large quantities of ketamine to Mr. Perry and others. We charged 5 defendants in this matter. These defendants took advantage of Mr. Perry's addiction issues to enrich themselves. They knew what they were doing was wrong. They knew what they were doing was risking great danger to Mr. Perry, but they did it anyways. Defendant Placentia saw this as an opportunity to profit off of Mr. Perry. He wrote in a text message in September 2023, quote, "I wonder how much this moron will pay."
Charges were levied against two doctors, Paris's live-in assistant, a broker, and a North Hollywood dealer known as the Ketamine Queen, who has been linked to the overdose death of another man. Perry, who played Chandler Bing on the hit TV sitcom from 1994 to 2004, was found unresponsive in his swimming pool in October. He was 54. An autopsy found the cause of his death was the acute effects of ketamine, a controlled drug the recovering addict was taking as part of supervised therapy. Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Handy Goy. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.